I mean, we're hurting Triss. Like that's the real trick. True. That's because they are inexorably linked now at this point. So the problem is, Max, our DM is just letting us talk ourselves into a hole here, is what happens.
Yep. Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he's in the process of destroying himself."
While Cain and I sleep, Triss dreams with the song. A contagious tea indeed, Triss decides to play along. A dangerous game, doing his bidding. With Mr. Song inside, can her truth stay hidden? A violent awakening, a nightmare brought to life. A difficult morning fight, poisonous frog strife. Once vanquished, we look up to see the author bearing her decree.
Hello and welcome to another fun and exciting episode of PeakD&D, where nothing bad happens and everything is great.
Everything is perfect all the time.
Only bad happens.
I don't know what to tell you. Chapter 2 is not a high point in your character's life.
No.
But
remember how you wanted to get the F out of me?
Yeah, I do.
Now we want to get the F out of me.
I do. I think that's going to be the I just want to get away from all of this.
What town will they be thrown out of next? So last time, you guys went and Triss, you had a dream conversation with a birdman, and then a giant frog showed up and tried to murder everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then some old lady with a couple of really buff bodyguards showed up, and that is about where we left off. So, to be a little less flippant, that old lady is Mother Yuldra. She is an Ulthor of Rashomon and is a very fancy porcelain mask to privet. And she has, by all outward appearances, cured the Slod disease that two of your companions were suffering from, and has asked what the situation is in Mir.
And for further clarification, Ulthor is like the district manager of...
Yes.
Cool.
Essentially,
is
the witches
at the
have like really high social status in Rashomon.
Okay.
Ulthor are the witch managers, if you will.
Yeah, the branch variation. Great, cool.
Whereas Nidoy is a
You want to speak to the witch manager, you talk to an Ulthor.
Right. Were we to... Okay. Throw our privilege around. Like, I want to see your manager. I want to see your witch manager.
I invoke the power of Karen.
It's a powerful spell.
Oh god, he's a cleric of Karen. Run!
Hey, there's a free character concept for your next campaign.
I want to speak to your manager. Ha! I cast
Intimidate or diploma?
guiding bolt.
Would it be intimidate check or?
I think both. I think you'd instantly gain proficiency in
Intimidate.
Okay.
Intimidate.
Deception.
You know what? We'll flesh it out in a short, and it'll be on our website.
Oh man, monetize that. Look for that on the PeakD&D Patreon. Oath of the Karen.
$10.
Paladin, huh? I don't know.
Paladin, Oath of the Karen. I like a cleric.
Okay,
of Karen.
so
Anyway.
I have some questions that I would like to ask you about my conversation with Mr. Song.
Heck yeah.
Before we
Let's
do.
fire away.
And I'm happy to sit out while I am pondering this with the conversation for the Ulthor. This is all happening at once. So like in my mind, I'm just like not saying anything and letting this progress between you because I'm curious. In talking to Mr. Song, he said he could see my memories. Like he was careful to hold that over your head. Something about a specific girl in and the color of her eyes. So then, do I have a sense of does he see everything that I see? Does he hear everything that I hear? Or does he just have access to
when he wants to have access?
So I'm gonna have you roll some insight on that.
Okay.
There's no real way to know for sure, but you might get a feeling on it. If you roll well.
Okay, cool. I would like to try.
Can you bless him or bardic him? No, you cannot.
I don't know he's doing this, so
That's true.
Fair enough.
22.
22 is actually pretty darn good.
Nice.
So like I said, it's impossible to be sure
Yes.
exactly what you're dealing with.
Of course.
However,
So feel
from
somewhere
the
in
sense you get and from the I'm having so much fun for the first time in a while kind of vibe you're getting off of him, you get the sense that he may actually know everything that you know.
Yeah, and just be like riding shoddy somewhere.
He's
You think-
experiencing
yeah.
as you're.
You think
Okay.
he's having fun experiencing the world through your perceptions.
Okay. Do I think, based on that conversation, that he could do this with anyone that he chooses that's infected?
He seemed to imply that he could.
Okay. So I'm
I would
just
agree with that.
the pet of the week, which probably, and so then, a couple times I intimated that conversation, like, would he come, if I were in mortal danger, if he would come to
Your
defense. Yeah, if he would come here in the flesh.
Interesting question. Without, that's probably worth a separate insight check.
I'm happy to roll again.
like if you're important to that.
Yeah, like if he
situation.
cared. 19.
19. With a 19, here, I'll describe it this way. You don't think that you are a linchpin of whatever his schemes are. You don't feel like he absolutely can't do what he wants without you.
Sure.
But you get the sense that he might prefer you, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Like, of all the cat girls I could infect, I'm glad it was you. You know?
He knows how to make a cat girl feel special, I guess.
Something special about you, Triss.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Okay.
All right, does that adequately answer the questions you have? or-
Good enough. I feel like that's going to be about as good as it gets.
All right, if something occurs to you later,
Okay.
just pipe right up and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So while Triss is coping with the things that have recently happened, the two of you find yourself standing near an old woman.
What is her
feeling,
name again?
Mother
her
Yuldra.
name- Yuldra, yes, Mother Yuldra. What would you like to say to the woman who wants to know what's going on in here?
As I'm bleeding from all kinds of places. Yes, Mother Uldra it is. So you would like to know what I'm just curious what you know of the happenings in Mir from your standpoint. What have you been told so far?
A fair question.
Just so
I
we're
was
on the right
sent
page.
by my order to investigate the situation in Mir. We were contacted by the townsfeara some weeks ago. He was asking for our wisdom as it relates to this dead magic field around this city. It is an unorthodox place for us to settle. But we cast about the manor, we consulted the spirits, and we learned of an impending disaster. Mir must be prepared for what is coming, or it shall pay a severe price for its negligence.
Yes. Well, about that, I believe that situation has arrived.
What has happened?
We believe and have noticed. That is why we came out here to figure out some other things and maybe some other answers to the situation, but we believe a plague of some sort is on Mir.
A plague. Pestilence. That would make
Something
sense.
has an entity behind it.
What do you mean?
Well,
Our friend Dawson Jones Clangenwa.
seems to have a connection with what we believe is the entity or spirit that is controlling the plague that actually, unfortunately,
You believe the plague has a spirit? This is... please, bring me along with you here.
yes.
So we talked with your
with Nadoya.
other representative, Nadoya, and she seemed
Natalia
to.
yet lives.
Yes, she's
Yes.
alive
Good.
for now. I
The
mean, it's-
Fira, however, is not.
people's dropping like flies.
The Fiera has passed.
That was the beginning of the happenings here.
That is very unfortunate.
But it seems as though he died from this plague that we have been investigating, of where the sense is, and where we have come to now is
there's some kind of spirit.
There's some
or
kind of
itself,
spirit entity that is.
It's aware and it's out to get us.
You believe that a foul spirit is causing the plague.
Or it is the plague? We don't know. We're a little bit fuzzy
bit
on
of
some of the
both.
details.
More likely it is a cause than a manifestation. But this is, well, it is as we feared. There is a grave threat to the city of Mir. The Ulthor must not abandon it.
Oh, it is mighty nice to see you. And I'm gonna walk up to them, and I'm gonna very flirtatiously put my hand on the barbarian and be like, "Oh my, they make you very big where you're from." And I'm gonna make sure to get a good breath in his direction.
I see you remembered the deal you made.
I did.
Okay.
So
Good
why not give him
to
something bigger?
know.
Oh, I believe that my friends are quite correct. Me and Mr. Song came to quite an accord last night.
Mr. Song.
The Death Song. Oh, he has a very fascinating, interesting story. I believe he was once a human before he ascended. And it turns out, well, he's quite reasonable.
Many are the spirits that play tricks upon men, and many are the lies that they tell.
I don't know. You just had a little chat with him before his little
And apparently you're on
before
his
that
side
frog
now.
showed up.
Oh, who's to say about sides? I'm sure we've all found ourselves in situations where we just have to do what we have to do.
Which is what in this situation?
Well, figure out the dead magic zone, of course.
And the death song.
Well, you've reminded me that I have much to do. I thank you for your assistance. You, large one,
Yeah.
have you ever considered joining one of the Berserker lodges?
I mean,
Oh, we believe one of them had something to do with the murder of the Fira as well. Sorry, just a little
It's true.
tit-for-tat.
But
All right. I'll investigate that as well.
we were talking about some of the trials and stuff I'd have to do to get in with those guys. But I don't know if you
he
have
took
any.
a
You
cool
have
bath.
met the local lodge master then?
Yeah, I did. I talked to him.
Who,
He didn't really like me. He gave me an ice bath though. That was nice.
Who is the head berserker at the local lodge?
Well, allow me to
Branimir.
consult my notes. Yeah, Branimir.
Huh.
Wow, you know a lot. It's right there.
Branimir lives
Owlbear
yet.
Lodge.
This too is good.
At least last night.
All right. Well, I thank you very much for this information. You may rest assured that Mir will be restored to its proper place shortly.
Outstanding. I believe we're all headed in the same direction. Provided you're headed to town. I know we are.
Indeed. Well then, I suppose that we may walk the ways then. Let us go together.
And on the way, I'll chatter up about ice weasels. And
Okay, so roll me insight right now, Triss.
so many insight checks. Oh,
So many.
22.
See,
very
you're
insightful,
on a
though.
roll. Good thing.
I'm okay with that.
So, for a while, you get after talking with this woman for a while, you get the sense that maybe she thinks you're crazy or simple.
Okay.
But then when you start talking about the ice weasels, she's paying a lot of attention to what you have to say. So you feel like okay, this cat woman is crazy, and then you take a hard veer into you're communicating with Telthor. She makes idle chit chat on the way. The berserkers do not say anything.
Okay.
But yeah, she encourages you, Kane, to speak to Branimir and see if see if you could persuade him to allow you admittance to the Berserker Lodge. You rolled a 22. You get the sense that she may have witnessed part of that fight, and might be trying to recruit Kane.
That's kind of my thought.
It's nice to be wanted.
How long is the walk back to town?
A couple hours. It's not a very long one, but it's
after your chit chat kind of dies down with her. I think I want to slowly pull all of us a little back, just behind them or something like that, to be like, okay, what exactly happened last night with the whole conversation with him, because we didn't get to talk about that until
Triss,
staying out of earshot.
Relatively, yeah.
Okay, but not trying to.
Not okay, you go on ahead now, we'll follow you, but just kind of slowly
how
falling
many
back.
ears are listening to our conversations?
Well, I mean, who can say in the midst of a forest, or steppe, as the case may be? Are we alone? Are we ever alone?
I mean,
are you alone with your red friend?
Red Cane has nothing to do with this.
Don't you bring Red Cane into this?
Don't bring Red Cane into this.
Oh yeah, last time you used Red Cane, you kind of blacked out and didn't remember it.
Yeah.
This time you remember.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean...
what
so all I'm saying is, I think that guy can sort of see and hear, would you say that that's accurate? You think that, Red Cane can hear and see things that I can see?
I mean, I have no idea how the man inside of you functions.
No, I'm just asking, theoretically. What is your general opinion?
I can't even fathom what that must be like for you. All I can tell is what I know of me. The potion worked, the tincture worked. I had a lovely conversation. It's more of like a first date with Mr. Song.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he used to be a human. Who would have guessed? At least that's my intimation. I offered him some tea. He said he wouldn't want to partake. It's been so long.
Interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. But very, very nice once you get to know him.
Mina, would you kindly walk with me further away from the cat? I think she has some things she wants to catch up with the mother, whatever her name is.
Sure.
No, at this point, I'll just walk behind everyone whistling a very simple, haunting tune.
Now you guys think Triss might be crazy,
Right?
Forget.
You have very good
Exactly.
hearing. Do you have more than above average hearing?
I mean, I don't think it's anything.
Not
mechanically
beyond any
speaking.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think. No, I can just run
Is
fast.
How do insights work? Checks work against other players.
I
Because
have.
you've changed
we
since
should-
that conversation.
We should spell out the PvP rules here, because I have a feeling I'm just gonna have to kill this cat. I don't know.
Oh, come on. Kane, keep your murder boner in your pants for a few
It's
more
not. I mean,
Seriously,
just give
at least
me a
become a barbarian first or a berserker.
Well, what I was
sorry.
trying to-
wouldn't say kill.
What I was
My
trying
point-
to do was get a feeling of if you are behaving this way because you know you're being watched. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
And I'm
see.
trying to figure out a way that I can communicate that to you without tipping off.
and getting an answer that actually spells it out for us.
Right.
You could roll a straight insight on it if you could find some sort of subtle way to communicate it and receive an answer. Then perhaps you have advantage on it.
Is there
Because you've changed overnight after that conversation. From my opinion.
It certainly seems to be a radically different opinion of the disease than
yes,
than Triss has,
radically
right?
different.
Because I don't want you to have to tip your hand if you need us to help you, but you can't ask for it because you're in cahoots with this guy. Whether or not
This
you
is
actually
why you
are.
cast Rary's telepathic bond every day.
This is but would that work? Wouldn't he be able to know you're
Who knows?
dang
Does
Jesus.
he have a brain that's compatible?
All I can say is that I am laying it on thick.
Right. And I've noticed, Kane noticed, and he's like,
Like cream on
But I guess
peaches.
that's where both of us are confused. It's it's almost too thick that it's believable, but we're not sure if it's
an act, or if you've actually come out changed.
Why can't I do anything wrong?
Curse you. Curse
So I
you,
would like to
thespian
get
nature.
well out of, like, just lag behind a little bit while you're in conversation
Okay, yeah.
with whoever, and I want to pull Mino aside outside of Triss's earshot and
Yes.
say, look,
She's very different.
I'm pretty sure that conversation has put a target on Triss's back. I think this guy can sense what's going on, this Death Song guy. He seems to... She's acting different, and she's acting like she's under scrutiny, and I don't like it.
Interesting.
So I think
Do you think
anything
she
we
actually-
say to Triss, we're saying to the Birdman.
Do you think she believes in what she's saying, or no?
She's working an angle, as she always does. She's got something. I think we have to try to help, but we can't give it away that we know that he's there. I think that's our best play. Treat Triss like we would, but let's not give away any important information if we can help it.
All
I
right.
could always just knock her unconscious.
Who goes there? Let me in, you idiot. That is the password.
This is the Othar you're speaking to, and retinue.
And a retinue. So with that, you guys have arrived back in the town of Mir. They quickly throw open the gates when they see a lady in a mask.
I'm wearing my plague blanket scarf mask.
All right.
We're all masking up in the city.
So she and the berserkers start marching directly for the cathedral. You guys, however, have more options available to you. Let's see here. Triss, you hear a sharp whistle as you pass through the town gate. Glancing around for a bit, you see about 13-year-old child who looks awfully familiar, who's waiting in a dark corner.
I'm gonna put my plague mask on
Okay.
and
Say,
stand 6 feet apart
Fair enough.
and try to spare this kid. Is the whole But yes, go on. I will walk over.
Thanks for the help.
Oh well, my pleasure.
We got the littlest ones and the girls into the mines.
Outstanding.
He hands you a folded up piece of paper.
Oh, well, that's mighty kind of you.
Step lightly out there.
I appreciate that. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, good to hear. I appreciate you helping us, and I think things might get a little dicey, so
Seems like it.
stay frosty.
You know it. One more thing for you. He
Is it a blue candy?
It is not a blue candy.
Ah!
He tosses you a bag. Inside it are 3 red feathers. Wear those. Any one of the kids in this town will know what that means.
You know, you are my favorite person that I have met in this town.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
It's because grown-ups are dicks.
Oh, Muff, if you only knew.
I've got some idea.
I bet you do. All right, you do your things and you come find me, but maybe we check in tomorrow morning.
Why couldn't that kid?
I think we could do that.
Why couldn't that kid be the friggin' prince?
I would happily turn the town over to him.
So, taking a look at that folded up piece of paper you had, it appears to be a map of the city. It's sort of crudely drawn. It's, kind of like in the broad strokes. You can make out the river that's running through the middle-ish part of the city, the Red Way to the south and the Witch's Way to the north. So you check out the map and you can see that whole areas are sort of like lightly brushed with like a red crayon or like some sort of umber or something to mark them. The two sort of general areas of the map that are marked are the Red Way and a southern district inside the walled city. One that you know is under quarantine.
Okay.
Well, what did you get there from that child?
Well, he handed me this, and I'll show you guys a map, and he brought gifts, and I will give you each a red feather.
What are those for?
They will identify us as friends of the children
Oh, okay.
in town. He also warned us to step lightly.
Start tiptoeing.
What a day to be alive and healthy in the city of Mir.
Great. Well, we got the doctor to check in on. We got Nadoya. Yeah, I'm gonna put mine on the little chain. Touching my microphone. I'm gonna put mine on like my chain, my medallion. It's got a thing on my
Very
neck.
good. So, along with all the other good luck charms
Oh,
and or
yeah.
religious symbols
Yeah.
that you keep on you.
Yeah, it's like, I have this one like red medallion that was like in my armor at some point, but I can't seem to take that one off.
I'm gonna keep mine safely in my pocket.
There you go.
What does it need to be?
Are we hiding them? Are we not? Where's the word?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're not.
I'll put mine in my pocket.
He didn't instruct you not to let anyone see them.
You're just saying where we put them. I put mine in my pocket. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Triss, where do we need to go? What's next?
All right.
Oh, well, that's a good question. I mean, part of me is a little curious. I don't know if we're going to get to
Follow the
sit in
Othor.
on the witch meeting, but mighty curious what those two ladies have to talk about.
All right.
Unless you can think of another place that...
Where to first, guys? World is your oyster.
I'm gonna go to not
Do
the
we need to
places
follow
that
up with
Triss
anything
says.
else? What else do we need to follow up with? Who else?
Whom else?
Like, I don't think we need to. I think this is our biggest.
Hey, you never told us what happened in your dream. Did you?
I did tell you what happened in my dream.
On the way
It was a bit like a first date. Like I said, me and Mr. Song
Yeah, on
got
the
to
way
know
back,
each
do
other.
you don't
We
remember like an
came
hour ago we talked about this?
to an accord. I mean, part of me thinks I
Yeah,
should
no,
go
I'm with you there.
talk to Nadoya, tell her, because she was the one that gave me the tincture that could facilitate.
So we need to tell her what's all how that went, and how our suspicions are correct. It seems like that he used to be a human, and he's behind what's going on here.
Do you need to use the bathroom?
I got my poop face on again.
Are we
It's my
back to
thinking
that?
face. Oh no.
Your thinking face looks a lot like my son's.
My poop face is also the same face.
And so then I'm going to start walking toward the cathedral.
Yeah,
Toward the cathedral, then. Fair enough.
that's the only place that makes sense. To me.
I'm just debating, like, I don't think we should do what she wants us to do because she has no choice but to lead us where Death Song wants. That's my take on it.
We should disagree vociferously with everything Triss says.
Well, I'm just trying to, like, I'm gonna try to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll go to the cathedral.
Welcome to chapter 2.
I'm very confused.
Alrighty.
Well,
Welcome.
the little we know, we need to get to Nadoya to tell her, so maybe she has more
Yeah.
answers.
Maybe she can.
And maybe we can sit on the
somehow
witch
sense
meeting.
this guy.
To the cathedral.
Fair enough.
All right, to the cathedral it is. By the time you arrive, you find that there's already quite a crowd of people outside the cathedral. There's some chatter happening. It seems like people have heard that there's an Ulthor in town, and they are excited and or terrified as to what that means. You feel like the Rashomani citizens are looking really excited, and the Thavian citizens are looking really anxious.
I guess, I don't know, is the door open, or are people like waiting to see what?
People are gathered outside.
Do we see Nadoya and the Ulthor?
So what's that?
Do we see them?
You do not see them outside the
Okay.
cathedral.
6 feet
What
apart.
you do see
Everyone,
outside
leave
the
the distance.
cathedral, it looks like there has been a large sort of pile of wood and a large flat stone set outside. Right now, two big muscly dudes are holding a lead, trying to keep what looks like a young bull calm and standing still on top of it.
God, we've been through the. Why we sacrifice? Okay,
Oh, I guess
you can't get through to these people. I'm just saying.
On the way up to the door, I'll stop by one of the big guys and just be like, "You are doing an awfully good job. Awfully, like lots of breath."
Yeah, I get it. I get it. All right, and they ignore that, and the moment you reach for the door handle, two arms like giant oak trees each reach out and hold the door closed. Meetings for Wicklard only.
We're in a retinue.
Were these the two
So are we.
berserkers
Yep.
from? Oh, got you. Well,
Same
then I'll
two
make sure to the
berserkers.
other one.
Yeah,
I'll get them both.
yeah, I get the other one.
Cool.
Fair enough.
Well, then I'll sit down on the steps.
We were invited by the Otho. She said it was okay.
Doubt it very much.
I'd like to.
Intimidate.
Roll it.
It's very important. This is a terrible idea. Oh, damn. It's not a natural 20. It's so close. It's a 19. So it's a 19.
Okay, so
I have a +0 to intimidate.
fair enough.
With proficiency.
He just gives you a steely glare.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I think that's a dirty 20. I have a +1.
Well,
That changes nothing.
that's actually slightly different, actually.
Oh, okay, great.
Actually changes everything.
Changes everything.
That brings you up to a tie. So the two of you are just staring
Glowering.
each other down. And eventually, like, they each start grunting and trying to have like
It's
an
like a
altercation
little
that way.
trickle of blood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just the way he arches one eyebrow, you feel like magnetically being drawn down.
What is the other one doing?
The other one's watching the other.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, then I'll just go stand like arms crossed between them and just watch like.
My stuff is in there. I live there. You know what? Screw you, man.
I left my charger in there. I just see
You can grab my phone charger, please.
So after a couple of minutes of the standoff to end all standoffs,
Yeah, pretty much.
the cathedral doors open wide. The woman in the porcelain mask walks out with Nadolia a pace or two behind her. Sort of walks past all this without really commenting on it. Nadolia gives you a slight nod as she passes. Also, roll me a perception check as she leaves the building.
Daytime.
Oh, baby.
Daytime.
Oh, and the good rolls and.
That
Just
is
really
the
good at
natural
insight.
20.
Oh, you got the nat 20.
Outstanding.
Hey,
Holy cow, that was awesome. I got 21.
And perception would be a
Nice.
25.
For
with
disadvantage, that
numbers.
was awesome.
yeah, for a disadvantage. Nice.
8.
So you two, once again, way to come
You're
through.
just on the steps.
You notice, well, Dahlia doesn't look so hot.
Damn it.
She either
Like
didn't.
sick?
She clearly didn't get much sleep last night. You can see her like absent-mindedly scratching at her arm.
Oh no.
And that sets off some alarm bells for you.
Bad.
You don't see any open sores, you don't see any motes of blackness pouring out of her, but you
She's at stage 1.
suspect that Nadolia might have picked up something a little bit gross.
like how I was when I had a fever and like really itchy, dry skin, or like
Not quite that stage. It was the
Okay.
day before where you were just kind of itchy and had a little bit of a
Oh,
tickle in
yeah.
your throat.
didn't you feel kind of bad
I
too?
did, but ever since the Othor, I don't think I do anymore. Is that true?
Yeah,
Right?
you felt more or less fine ever since
Aside
you,
from my 8 hit points.
aside from all of these organs and blood hanging out. How important is one of these things anyway?
If you
I
have
don't
two
know.
of them.
All of my clothes being soaked in dry blood. I feel fine internally.
But all that to say, the procession sort of walks past you, and the Othor addresses the crowd.
She must know what she's saying.
Folk of Mir, this calamity that befalls the town is willed by the gods. Bala and the Hidden One and LaRue have spoken. They are discontent with your sins. We must ask them for forgiveness. We must ask humbly to be spared this calamity, and we must correct where we have gone astray. Do not fear. The Wicklarn shall guide you as they have always done. Let the sacrifice be made.
Oh, God. Now see here!
All right. So, she gestures, and one of the burly dudes hops away from the door, pulls a big old axe off his back, proceeds to the big flat stone where the bull is currently bound.
I don't think it's a good idea. Should we stop this?
The handlers almost lose the bull's reins as the bull sees the axe and begins to freak out. Okay, and then with a single mighty blow,
Oh, well, it's too late now.
he brings the axe down, cleanly severing the beast's head. And now we roll. Okay. The sort of the bull's carcass, now headless, sort of stands for a moment and then falls gradually onto its side. As it hits the ground, its belly sort of bursts open, and long, black, rotted-looking entrails fall out.
This thing was sick. That's a bad idea.
And there is some
Don't breathe it.
alarm and and concern around the closest people who can see this. The Ulthor just kind of, you can see her kind of clench her fist, and speaks some arcane word, and a column of fire falls from the sky, igniting the pyre.
Bad idea. Don't breathe it. Oh, God. This is terrible. Cold. Cold. Put ice on it. Snow.
So, you're not a doctor or anything, but it sure looks to you like cows can catch this.
Yes.
I just stifle a laugh.
You'd never notice if you weren't looking for it, but those clouds, as they roil upwards, you could swear you see some sort of bird-like face in them for just a moment.
This is terrible. I told you, we gotta stop this thing. Clearly, religion is not the answer here. We're not going to pray away this death song bullshit.
So, the Ulthor is plainly
Crazy.
plainly upset
Useless.
and concerned about the cow being infected, but is nonetheless acting like it is not a huge problem. Nadolia, however, looks as though like somebody just pronounced her guilty and she's about to die.
Yeah, your supervisor saw that.
It looks like a very poor omen for the sacrificial animal to be suffering from the disease. And also, you guys have some crazy theories about what fire does.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's probably fine.
What is the theory about fire?
It loves it.
Fire seems to
Yeah,
help
it hates
spread
the
it.
cold. Yeah,
Like
but it loves the
vaporizes it
flames.
somehow.
Yeah, that's...
We've seen it in
You've
smoke.
seen some high-profile fires happen in both of the districts that are now
that's true.
presumably quite
We
infected
started.
and
One we
suffering.
did start. My bad.
One that we did.
We did.
That was another wild surge, wasn't it?
No,
that was very intentional.
that was
yeah.
But I think it won me some street cred with my new homie.
Cool.
All right. Well, I am not taking off my mask, and I
Nope.
am not getting anywhere near these smoke fires.
So, people, having witnessed the sacrifice, proceed to head back to their homes, not at all persuaded that the Ulthor have this under control. What would you like to do next?
I want to trust science. I want to go talk to the doctor.
Well, I have bad news for you about medieval science.
Bleed them.
Put them in the leeches.
I would like to pull Nadoya aside, if I may.
She, yeah, that is possible to do. She greets you and asks how you slept last night.
Your tincture was very effective. I came to an accord with Mr. Song, and we got along swimmingly.
I see. You no doubt persuaded your friend to leave our city in peace, no doubt.
I'm standing behind Triss,
Yep.
and I'm like, he can see. Like
Oh.
I'm gesturing like she's can see. I'm like trying to communicate that.
Like all things that are in fact alive, it turns out that Mr. Song, once human himself, just wants to live, as we all do. Who can begrudge him that?
I see.
Who?
You've clearly come away with a better understanding of our living friend.
I have.
Perhaps that can be a path forward for us. Perhaps we can placate your friend.
Oh, he's quite intractable, but I suppose we will see.
I suppose we will. She sort of shoots a glance over at Kane, who's standing behind you, presumably doing nothing.
Sure. Sure.
Staring off into the abyss.
You received a few missives last night.
I'll take them. I'll check them for poison. Gotta make sure they're not
Okay?
poison letters.
You gonna lick him?
Not gonna lick them. Not gonna lick them. That's not how
learned
we
your
test
lesson.
things.
Good job.
That is not how we test things.
Only slimy cape
I mean, the walls were weeping. I had to make sure it wasn't like
Is there
sarsaparilla. or
white
something.
powder in envelopes?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm just
Exotop
so I'm
office.
thinking that the less information that Triss acquires is less information that
I'm with
he
you.
acquires.
I'm with you.
I see what you're doing.
So that's my thought is I'll read the mail because I always read the mail. Everyone knows that.
All right. Well, Mr. Mail Reader, you seem to have 3 messages.
Great. I will read them.
All right.
Not allowed. Out to myself.
The first one has...
Oh wait, I can only read out loud.
Annual. I can read just fine. Thank you very much.
The first message is from Xantus, and it has very poor handwriting.
He's dumb as shit.
No, he's a doctor.
Oh, he's a doctor.
Indeed. It reads, "The samples you provided were invaluable, and I have learned a great deal already. If my findings would be at all useful to you, I will be at my workshop. I implore you to be cautious. The situation in the Red Way is worsening quickly."
Xantus is dead.
Outstanding.
The second one is from Atoya, and it reads, "I do not know what occurred at the safe house, but all of Mir knows the aftermath. What happened? Did any of the women make it out? What of the one who wore a silver pendant?"
Do we recall? No.
Did we? We never found.
Oh no, Tony found a silver pendant and looted it on the way out.
Great.
I did?
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Otoya's leaving town with the rest of the refugees.
And the third one is unsigned and written in a curiously archaic script. It reads, To speak a witch's name is to tickle her ears, and my patience grows thin with your buzzing. Come to the steppe this night and follow the pale flame. You will know my land by a fence of bones. Speak your questions where mine ears can hear them, or let them stick in your throat hereafter.
So Xantus
And that
is
third
This-
one?
Atoya's gone.
Xantus is dead. And
Yes, we know that one.
yeah, and then
Diarrhea, is it?
yeah, it's a problem I have. Let's see. There's this one is offering to a potential ally to meet outside of town on the steps
Oh, fascinating.
at night.
Interesting.
This one's apparently local singles in our area.
Hot witches in your area.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about I'm not going to say anything about the witch or the
The word we don't say.
the word we don't say. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say
What word?
It's okay. Future Tony will put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Current Tony is lost in
Yaga.
all of this.
It's the
I
Yaga.
can't follow any. I don't know why, but I'm having so much trouble following what's going on.
Sorry, viewers. If we can't keep it together, then
welcome to PeakD&D.
they watch it sequentially. But anyway,
Yes.
so I'm going to make this a little bit easier, and I'm just going to look at you two and be like, "Well, this has been delightful. I will meet you back here this evening. I've got some things I need to go take care of in town," and then just start walking away, whistling a tune. Tail, just like very
Tail swish, swish, swish.
yes, in a very confident type manner.
Can
So
you
what in Lolth's name is going on here?
are you capable of, like, if your tail was to draw something or write something in the sand, like would he know?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Triss is also acting off of imperfect information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing my best here, buddy.
I'm just taking into account that Death Song is Triss is Death Song. That's in Kane's mind.
Right.
Like he has taken over. Whether or not that's true, or like she has no choice but to cooperate. That's what Kane has picked up on.
Right.
When she came back and started like acting entirely weird.
Yes.
I was like, okay, so this guy is like, he's here, he's in on it, and he can see what she sees, and like, because that's why she's putting on this other act, and she's pretending to go along with it. Whether or not she actually is whatever. That to Kane, that doesn't matter. Like, he's like, okay, that's a liability. She's a liability now, so he's not sharing any information with her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and that's all Kane. That's all I know at this point. Like,
So then I guess what the heck do we do about it? I have no solution whatsoever.
Chapter 2.
I have zero
So
semblance of any sort of path to a solution.
Here's
Burn
what
it
I
to the
think.
ground.
anything we say outside of when Triss isn't around or conscious to hear, we're safe for now.
Right,
Unless
that's fine,
because
but-
you got cured. You're not sick. I'm not sick.
Okay.
That thing can move through the sickness somehow. Like it is It is the sickness.
So
I don't
then what
know.
are we going to do about this?
We got to get it out in the open where we can kill it.
How?
Triss, she's the key. I don't know why. She likes him. He likes her.
What, do we just put her in submerge her in a cold bath then or something?
I mean, it crossed my mind. You can make people sleep and things, right? Don't you have sleep?
Not in this thing.
Well, if we were in a place where there was magic, you could do that,
I
right?
could, yes.
And I could,
I wonder if what a mind sliver would hurt him.
I mean, we're hurting Triss. Like that's the
That's
real trick.
true.
That's because they are inexorably linked now at this point. So the problem is, Max, our DM is just letting us talk ourselves into a hole here. Is what happened.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he's in the process of destroying himself."
Sage advice.
So that's what. So I tell Tony, I tell Mino, while Triss is gone, what those messages actually said. Xantus has some interesting findings. Xantus has some interesting findings he wants to tell us about if we go visit him. I don't think Triss should come, because if we are close to...
Well, she's off doing what she needs to,
Right.
so let's go.
if
Out
there's
of curiosity, Triss, where does your left to your own devices?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Don't you
Where
say
does
Kevin.
your merry walk through town take you?
Not to the kids, not to the districts that haven't yet been infected.
Hanging around in infected districts, perhaps.
I believe so.
All right. You have a map with a couple of those pointed out.
Yeah.
You find your feet turning that way.
Yeah, and I'm gonna yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, cool. So, gentlemen,
I think
Santa's.
we go
Stop.
see what Xantus has to say, find out what he knows without Triss. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
do me a favor,
He's
Triss.
not really dead.
As these fine gentlemen head out to do things you have no idea about, why don't you roll me? How are you approaching the district? Are you just kind of brandishing your badge and marching in and finding a nice street corner and having a seat?
I was more gonna be like brandishing the badge to get in, just
to
to
get
be
in
like,
at the quarantine.
Yeah.
And given your choice, would you rather go to the Red Way, which is the sort of Fabian district that's outside the walls, or the district that's inside the walls, where that appears to be infected?
The one where we set on fire.
Yeah, which one didn't we set on fire?
Actually, you've set both of them on fire.
Yeah,
at
one we
point or
killed
another.
people doing it.
Oh,
the other
right.
one,
Yes, I am awfully popular in both of these places.
I hate splitting the
You
party,
seem to
but-
show up and leave fire in your wake.
I do. If only it were cold, this would go so much better. But alas. The one inside town.
All right, the one inside town.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Duly noted. We'll put you there.
Cool.
I'll describe for you what you find after these
Yeah,
gentlemen
please.
have a
Yeah,
chat.
please let them do
We'll-
that stuff. I'm happy to.
Yeah, we've
sit
got. I
and
just want to
continue.
have a sense of where you are in space.
No doubt.
We're good. All right, you two. At the entrance, at the city gate that is closest to the Red Way, it looks like there's like a triple guard posted. And you can hear commotion coming from the other side of the gate.
What's all this then? Badges. We got badges.
That's cool. Right. Yeah, this is a guard accent. You guys.
I love these guys.
They pop up everywhere.
We got folks outside. Don't know the meaning of the word no, or the meaning of the word quarantine. But in fairness, I had to have my sergeant explain that word to me.
Well, understood.
Well, we've taken the precautions, as you can see.
Yeah, we're here on official business.
Oh, you can go through, but they can't come in. So you better go out pushing.
What?
Yeah, we got. They want to get out. That's what they're trying to.
They're trying to get into the city.
Oh, they're trying to get into the city. We can't let them do that.
That ain't what quarantine means, folk.
It's the opposite. way.
By order of the special envoy to plague and stuff.
Hammerpants.
Yeah. I think that's his name. Nobody allowed into the city from the Red Way at this moment in time.
But that Xantus is on. He's in the
Yes,
Red Way district.
his
Okay.
workshop is in the Red Way district. So you guys are allowed to go in, but people are not into the Red Way. But people are not
Right.
allowed to come out of the Red Way.
Which is essentially going into the city proper.
Yes.
That's why my preposition.
This is why I'm very confused.
All right.
It makes perfect sense if we put this map up. Thank
Little
you,
map
Future
to
Tony, for putting this
Yeah.
map up.
The Red Way is just outside of the city, so
Right.
there's a bunch of people trying to get in.
So if we go out, are we not going to be able to go back in?
We got the badges. We're fine.
Yeah,
To go
you
both
guys,
ways?
you guys are empowered to go wherever you need to.
Okay.
You were
Hammerpants
careful to
says
set
so.
that up with Hammerman.
Okay.
His name is
We're
Shatterhelm,
Going to see the
but
doctor.
he's affectionately known as Hammerpants.
I will lead the way. Make way, please. Make way. 6 feet of distance. Stand apart.
All right, why don't you make yourself a strength check?
How many people are in the Red Way? Like, is it just like...
It's
packed full. And
It is not. It's not like crammed to the gills. It's outside the city proper, but it's also where a lot of poor people tend to live. So as you guys sort of make your way out through the small the small iron portcullis that's about man-sized, people are immediately rushing in. You see, there's probably at least 30 people out here. Many of them have children, and they are with them.
Right here in the streets, just having children.
Yeah. And they are frantically trying to get into the city. Beyond those people, you can see that there seems to be an oppressive sort of haze hanging over, probably from the fire last night. And you see, like, beyond, like, houses are boarded up, people are locking themselves in. The word is out that the plague is in the Red Way.
All right. I have a level of exhaustion, so I had that strength roll was at disadvantage. So but it's still a 19.
Still a 19. Okay. That is enough to push your way through the crowds of people who are terrified for their very lives and the lives of their loved ones. And why don't you make me a con save there, Kane?
All right. Those are just regular.
Regular con save.
Con save. I'm proficient. That's a 23.
Cool. Duly noted. All right, so you managed to push your way into the Red Way.
Yes.
Nobody is like throwing rocks. This isn't a violent demonstration at this point, so you are able to just kind of push your way through. Portcullis closes behind you, and you and Tony are now in the Red Way.
Everyone, please stand back. We've got very important business. We're trying to get you folks to a safer place. We'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, they're not really having it. These people are here because they want out of this district. So as soon as you are no longer between them and the entrance, they lose all interest in what you say.
Great. Well, we've got the run of the place. Let's go see Dr. Zentus. And Dr. Zentus, Dr. Zentus. Dr. Zentus, Dr. Zentus. Yeah.
All right.
And
So
then
off to Dr. Xantus's place.
Yeah.
You find a line stretched out the door.
Right.
Badges, official business. Sorry, folks. Cover my mouth.
All right. You head in. You find Xantus. He is wrapped in big, thick robes, and his face is not visible. He appears to just be handing out what look like medicines. They're little jars or even little clay bowls just filled with some sort of tinctures. He is just handing them out to as much as he can to everybody who comes through.
Doctor?
With a solution, then perhaps?
Greetings to you. Thank you for coming. Please, not too close. I fear that I may be already in danger of spreading the disease.
Yeah, you got that shit.
Right.
For real.
Please, I need the room with these men. They will help. People back away.
I'm sorry, we'll come back.
Sort
we'll
of
come back.
leave you the
you
room.
mean us? Oh, right.
He sort of sends everybody out, and you look in good health, my friends.
Fortunately, we had a run-in with the Othor.
Before she came in.
And
The Othor
actually,
has made it to town.
yes, she's here. And
Did
Triss
she?
actually used some magic and cured me. I looked a little bit like you. You remember the coconut?
Did she mention whether the disease resisted her magical attempts to cure it?
Well, she helped me out and cured it. Because I believe I
She-
was on the same path.
She did seem a bit perplexed by the... We also had a run-in with a big blue frog, and that frog was poisonous too. Like,
A big blue...
giant frog monster.
Giant. It's humongous frog. That's why I have dry blood everywhere.
What color was it?
Blue.
It was blue.
Big
Oh,
blue
it was a slod.
frog. Yeah, big
Sure.
slot.
Yeah, multicolored extra-dimensional death frogs, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a hell of a day.
Well,
So like, he was real sick. I was a little sick from that, but like I had already. So he like a holy person, Triss, she put her hands on me and I was better
well,
because we were outside this no magic bullshit.
you have a friend of many talents, it seems.
Of random
Listen,
talents.
I don't know how effective magic is, but it, I think it could be helpful. Maybe not the kind of magic that you know.
I doubt it. And moreover, I don't think any one person capable of magically healing can stem what we're facing. Perhaps if we'd caught it in the early stages, but not now.
We didn't know.
You saw what's happening with the Red Way.
It looks
Yes.
pretty bad.
The disease is rampaging through it. I've seen several already today come in with unmistakable symptoms of the death song. The Red Way will soon be entirely gripped in it. I'm distributing as many topical cures as I can.
They're only topical.
Well, they're not proper treatments for the disease. They can bolster the infected's chances of evading further progression of the disease, but they cannot cure it. But I have reason to believe I might be on the trail of a cure. You brought me the remains of that unfortunate young woman.
Oh
Yes.
I was able to study the disease while it still lived in her body. I was able to see its impact. It seems to affect the intestines, the gut, before spreading into the respiratory tract. Sorry.
The breathy bits.
Yes,
Got it.
the breathing parts.
Yeah.
And from there, it becomes airborne. The infected, they exhale a miasma of sorts that carries the disease with it.
And would fire or heat help
No,
aerosolize
you
that?
mustn't. I don't know what the word aerosolize
Like
means.
put it in the air faster. You know what I mean? Like that's what I said. What did you say?
Yes, from the mouths of barbarians. Yes. That is why I need you. Excuse me. I need you to go to the town's graveyard. Do not let them burn the bodies of the plague dead. It will spread the disease faster.
Is there any way to slow it down? I mean, if fire makes it go fast, does ice make it go cold, slow?
I think that stands to reason.
It definitely didn't like. I show him my big ice axe, Victorian blue ice. It definitely didn't like this. Well,
Did
like
you-
some of the infected things respond a little bit better to it.
What, have you been stabbing people who are infected with the axe?
I mean,
Science.
there was one that came at me, and I had no choice. But it was a very pitched battle, and then it's okay.
think perhaps we need not dwell on the details.
Right, probably good for your
It
stomach.
recoiled from this, you say?
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely didn't like cold. I slept in ice last night. I slept in a bath of ice.
That's an excellent idea.
I mean, I thought it might just help break the fever, but it also seemed to.
No, there's
Make me less-
medicinal reasoning to it, yes, but it was kept in the cold storage. It was kept there for a reason. You're onto something.
Are we talking about the wooden guy again? The puppet man?
Yes, but
So who let him go?
that I could not tell you.
Who went in there and slashed open that wooden puppet and let this out?
Maybe that weird spoiled guy. The guy we fought in the temple.
Yep.
You're further ahead of me.
There was this one guy who kept talking about death song, blah 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 blah, and then he like,
Took up residence in the
yeah, he was like in the thing.
cult.
We
Oh,
fought him.
yes, I remember this from your report. Yes, some sort of... he brought Knowles with him.
Yeah, apparently he sort of let him loose in there.
No,
But
it
I
doesn't
don't know
account
if
for
he
our
did it.
most recent outbreak, but... Well, it seems that you've not been idle either. Don't. You have some authority from our esteemed sheriff, yes.
Hammer pants. Yeah, we got hammer badges.
Yes, Dorgan.
Hammer badges.
Implore him if you can, if you encounter him, but use whatever authority you have. Do not permit them to burn the infected. It will spread the disease by carrying it along the vapors.
You think it's a good... Should we put the bodies in the cold storage? Is that better?
Is the cold storage going to come back though? Like,
Probably should.
I
mean, there's still parts of it that work.
I don't think it would be safe. And
What
it would
about-
be a long trek to carry each of them.
What about the infected? Could you put them in cold storage?
I don't think it would help. The disease came from the melting of the cold storage, did it not?
Well, yeah.
no, but I
If
think
there's-
what you're saying is a different cold storage.
If there are other Telthor... Yes, that may help. The Telthor, the spirits of, they call them.
Ice weasels. We met them.
Yes, the ice weasels.
We're up to speed. I have no follow-up questions.
We're good friends with them.
If more of them could be found.
Where does one find ice weasels?
Spirit ghosts.
Well, the land of Rashomon is rife with them, but here in the steppe we have little hope of attracting a new coven of them. Perhaps this is something that Nadolia may be able to help with, or
Someone
her
more
Ulthor
powerful?
superior.
Or maybe someone even more powerful.
Ice
than
weasels,
that.
we need them now.
Stat.
This weasel reeks.
The Berserkers. Yes.
They know those guys, right?
No, the Berserkers, they have Telthor guardians. Normally at the lodge, but there's a sacred place to them nearby. I think you mentioned that you were heading to one.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
we
why
did.
you took an ice bath? Is because one of the berserkers?
The
it's like
Tolth.
one of the trials.
That may well be why it worked so well.
Protected.
Speak to the Berserkers. They should have a Telthor guardian that represents the totem of their lodge.
Yeah, the owl bears. That's what we
An
know.
owl bear is larger indeed than a weasel. If it could be persuaded to manifest, it could keep bodies or even patients cold. It might be the perfect place to set up a place we could treat the sick.
Like a field hospital.
Yes, something of the
At the
sort.
berserker lodge.
Well, that circle of stone where we
At
was,
their stone
the altar.
circle, yes. Their lodge is within the confines of the blister. It would not be able to manifest here, but
All right.
perhaps at the stone circle.
That's a good idea. All right. Hey, don't talk to the cat. She can't be trusted.
All right,
If you see her, yeah,
I'm not going to ask any questions. You guys are on top of this. Tell me how I can help you.
So I guess if we're gonna try to do that, would it be prudent for you to start getting a camp ready together
I can
to treat them out there?
make a list. I should not go. I have spent a great deal of time poring over an infected body. The risk of my being infected is too great.
What about your?
Reuben, yes. Take Reuben with you. He knows most of what he will need. I will make instructions for him. Reuben would be better suited to the task than I would. When I am clear of possible infection, I will join him at the, what do you call it, a field hospital?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a little bit of time in it's what we called it.
Oh, mercenaries, yes?
Yeah,
I think
right.
you mentioned something of that.
So while we
it's-
procure, hopefully the owlbear spirit, you can get everything together to make an encampment out
At
there.
the very least, the people
You
who are
can.
sick should be treated away from the city itself.
Well, and hopefully in a magic zone, it certainly seems.
Where maybe magic can help them a little bit more.
Yeah.
At least stem the tide a bit. Like you said, there's way too many of them.
There's too
We
many
need an
for
army
a
of
single
clerics.
spellcaster to cure, but if those of us with any magic intend to help, that might be the best place to do it.
Right.
I like your thoughts. I will start sending word. Is there... Here, take these. Something to bolster your strength in the face of further infection.
Vitamin C. Weird.
Good for hangovers, too.
Oh, nice.
Glug, 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 glug.
Glub, 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 glub. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Remember, speak to the Gravekeeper. Olun is her name.
Olun.
But we also have to make sure they don't burn the bodies.
Yeah, that's why we gotta go talk to the Gravekeeper.
They'll bring them to her.
That's where they take the dead people. It's a
That
graveyard.
makes sense.
It's really.
I thought that was a...
And they're like, typically when there's like a plague situation, you burn the bodies, but this is kind of the
It's
opposite of that.
different.
You
We
don't want to do
burn
that.
the bodies. We want to freeze them.
And deep freeze the grave. All right, great. The grave person. Thank you, Dr. Xantis.
Feel
I think
better.
I will do my best.
that's it.
Stay healthy if you
Have you-
can.
Have you had any dreams of late? Have you slept?
No. I remained awake all last night. I was working.
Ever see a man?
I was not sure how long the disease would live in the dead.
Ever see a visage of what looks like a man with a bird beak?
Oh, like a doctor's mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of
No.
described. I think we described the wing guy, the bird man too.
No, I have not seen your bird of disease.
Well, if there's anything that lets you get some rest without dreaming, maybe take that.
I'll take that under advisement.
I don't know. You're the doctor here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is a medicinal moonshine. Clunk.
Yeah,
This is usually sufficient to induce a dream.
that'll
of
need a
sleep.
trick. All right. We're out of here. Let's-
What if you...
Thank you. And please let me know how I may help.
Very well.
Great. So, while you guys are having that conversation, we go to a different part of town. Triss, you...
Seedier part of town.
This district looks a little bit different to you. You passed through it after there was a general quarantine order out. And, the streets looked abandoned, but for the odd person without anywhere else to go. You saw a sort of unwholesome haze in the air. Something about your experiences last night have altered your perception slightly. Now those same motes of darkness that you've seen in the orifices of the infected in your dreams, now you can see them blowing in clouds with the breeze, moving through the district. Occasionally, you see one sort of change. It could be a change in the wind, or it could not be. You see one sort of turn around and sort of lunge out toward the occasional person or into an open window. From your perspective, the district itself being infected is an excellent way of describing it. It looks as though the buildings, the streets, the very city itself is suffering from this disease.
Okay. Then I'm going to slowly walk through the city, taking note of all of that, doing my best to look to the onlooker that I'm inspecting random bits that I'm doing official business.
So there are things worth inspecting.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm going to be talking, I'm just going to be complimenting Mr. Song on his work and how glorious this is. And I can't wait for the big next things and how great it is. And what a neat trick that is.
Just lay it on as thick as you please.
Pretty much, man.
All right, fair enough. So you do find that there is plenty worth inspecting.
Okay.
Most people have barricaded themselves in their houses. You see that there are a few where the windows are actually boarded shut. And it looks like there are a few houses where the windows have been broken and the houses look ransacked. It's tough in here.
Yeah.
And you see only a few people, and they don't seem to notice you. They are mostly the people who are outside are suffering from the disease.
Yeah.
And they are. It looks like there is quite a few. You count at least 12 people outside who are plainly in the stages of infection.
Okay. Then I would like to put on my candy striper hat, and I'm going to like spend some time with these people, like individually, like have a conversation, give them some like human contact, because I imagine they just feel like completely ostracized and abandoned and all of those things.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you?
So that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. So you're just gonna kind of
Comfort the people, the sick and
provide
dying.
some comfort,
As
and
much
some
as I
company
can.
to
Yes.
to the diseased.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough, man. Yeah. So we'll say that's what you're up to.
Yeah, and then when it comes time to like circle back to the cathedral, I will attempt to meet these guys.
All right. So at night.
Evening fall, yeah.
All right,
And that's
so
how I'm
around
gonna
evening.
that's how I'm gonna spend my day.
All right. Fair enough.
And if they're, and I'm gonna give them like I have that big ass bag of candy, and they're already sick, so I'll give them like I'll sit there and eat candy with them, and just try to like hospice it up as best I can.
Nice.
Mhm.
All right. So on the just doing some boots on the ground comfort to the sick.
Mhm.
Very nice. All right, Kane and Mino, where would you like to go? Having finished your conversation with Xantus.
The Gravekeeper first.
I think we should, swing by the grave keeper.
Yep.
Yeah. Gravekeeper is, there is a graveyard outside of town. Not terribly far. It's less than an hour's walk away, probably 30 minutes. But you find a graveyard. It does appear that they have, headstones. There's not really any mausoleums constructed. It looks like it's all just individual graves. And sure enough, there is a great big hole in the ground with a lot of bodies in it.
Oloon. Is that your name? You are the grave. We find the person.
All right,
in charge.
you find the person in charge. There appears to be a 16-year-old girl kneeling at the entrance to the hole, very, very well muscled. She appears to be kneeling apparently in prayer.
Wait a respectful amount of time until she's done.
Oh, hello.
You done with all that nonsense? Sorry, praying.
Yes, it's so nice to meet you.
We wanted to give you a chance to finish your prayer over clearly a tragedy that has befallen you.
It is. It's only just beginning.
I guess you're the only one here. Is it safe to assume that you're the Gravekeeper for me?
Yes, I took over from my father last year.
I see. Well, we have special instructions that we have grown to know about these bodies, is that we should not burn them.
You say not to burn.
Correct. We believe that the
I
plague in question that is going on actually feeds off of fire and will actually make this situation a whole lot worse.
I see.
I mean, honestly, you better just to cover them up in the hole. Keep them as cold as possible.
Yes.
Okay. I would prefer that. The Hammerhands were quite insistent that they had to be burned for everyone's safety.
Yes, we've learned quite
We're
the
gonna-
contrary.
We're gonna set it straight with Hammerpants over there.
Very well then. Thank you. That's a great load off my mind. I don't want to burn them.
Yes, well, I'm glad we're able to give you that comfort, and we're very, very, our condolences to you of what you have to do during this time.
And like cover up when you're touching them. You know what I mean?
That's all right. I don't fear the dead.
Do you fear the plague, though? I mean, you may be susceptible to catching what they had.
The way the people talk, we'll all catch it. They say it's the end of Mir.
Not if we have anything to say about it.
Very well.
You know, gloves, mask, just general precautions. Maybe wrap up the bodies before, put them in the... Just don't touch them a lot. Like, and not like in a weird way. I mean, I'm not into that kind of thing. Bye.
Your friend is very strange.
Yes, he grows on you, and he means well.
All right.
He just wants everyone to be safe while we figure this out.
Do you... do you hear them too?
Hear them.
Yes.
To what are you referring?
Never mind.
No, please. I would be very anxious to know. It might be a clue as to how this stopped.
The dead. They speak to me.
I've certainly had similar situations, but not passive. I would have to actively speak to the dead, but...
Oh, no, they speak to me often.
You just hear them?
Yes, mostly during my work or at night.
What do they say?
Anything in
It might be
particular?
a great
Just
deal.
bunch of mumbo jumbo? or-
Sometimes they tell me what to tell their loved ones, but
Very interesting.
so many have died these past couple of days. It's beginning to get too loud.
Has this happened your entire life? Have you always been able to hear the dead?
Yes. Since, well, as long as I can remember.
Oh.
Have you heard anything about a death song?
Not until lately. Mostly the plague victims don't speak, they wail. They hurt. The sound can sound like many voices singing. I don't care for it.
Probably
Sounds-
a minor chord, though.
Well, you're a musician. I take your word for it.
They also say that scavengers are watching, waiting for the town to die.
Scavengers.
Yes. They say they're to the east.
Who would...
Do you
Does the
know
town
if there's
have
to
any
the east?
enemies?
Oh,
To
the
the east?
Tungian horde, of course. We buy them off with tribute. I don't think that's who they're referring to.
No.
I've found bodies gnawed on.
Mm.
It's not proper. They shouldn't be defiled that way.
No. Nobody deserves that.
I must agree. Well, I suppose if you can, as difficult as it may be to keep your ears open and pass out any of those discussions or sayings of what the dead are saying, there might be a clue in one of them somewhere of how to stop this. So something interesting more than everybody else, all of the dead voices saying something, that something interesting comes across one of them. Try to keep it in mind, and maybe we'll double back with you and check in.
Okay.
But we'll clear it with hammerhands that they won't be burned.
They can get us a message. We're at the temple.
Okay. At the temple, yes. Thank you.
Do your best not to listen to the darker things they say.
Whatever the dead have to say, they should be heard.
I can respect that.
Someone must speak for them. They didn't want to be burned. They like you. Most of them. That one doesn't like you.
Do I recognize that one?
You don't think so?
Okay, I was just like, it's probably the one I locked inside the house.
That's Ivan, and he's very, very racist.
Oh, well, understandable, I suppose. What you're doing is a great service to the dead, and it's quite a burden to put on such a young person's shoulders. Do your best.
Young people are the only ones who can carry burdens.
Amen, sister. Okay, bye.
Putting that 8 charisma to work, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Like sometimes he says some things that are right, and other times he's like, "No, I gotta go. Bye." Just like the social battery runs out pretty quick.
Indeed.
We'll leave you to it.
So, you talk to a girl who talks to dead people.
I kicked the racist one. No, I don't.
Kick
I
the
don't.
racist corpse. Roll for infection.
Oh, damn it. No, I do it. That's why I was
lick
like,
it.
I eat him alive.
All right. So,
It's dead.
as my diabolical plot to split the party continues apace,
Felt
we
right.
have Triss ministering to the sick. We have Kane and Mino Morlin speaking about the town, and we have possibly some interesting leads about where to go next. I think that's a good place to leave it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of PeakD&D. Why not shout the obvious things that you can think to do in this situation in the
Please.
comments section?
It would
They'll-
help.
It won't help us.
These poor players need your help. Thank you very much. We'll see you
Yes.
next time.